11 Alive News at 11 p.m. starts now.
First at 11.
It was calm and then just boom. Never seen nothing like it.
Powerful storms roll into metro Atlanta,
So again, the tornado warning continues.
causing widespread damage.
That tree just snapped like a toothpick.
And as always, 11 Alive made sure you were weather aware.
I was showing you the forecast track that showed the thin line of storms moving through. That's what we've been dealing with.
Tonight, the storms roll out and the cleanup begins.
For much of the afternoon and into this evening, many across Metro Atlanta and North Georgia hunkered down to ride it all out.
Absolutely, and many of those images you saw at the top of the broadcast, a few are from our storm trackers.
We have team coverage for you this evening. In a moment, we'll bring in our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, who will tell us about what we can expect for the weekend. We'll also get a report from Bobeth Yates with damage out of Floyd County. But let's begin this evening with Cody Alcorn with more on how the storm impacted folks up in Cobb County. Cody?
In just a few hours, crews will be out here to get this tree off of this home. We are in the Chimney Springs neighborhood here in Marietta, and you can see the damage from this storm. This is exactly why when Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb and our team of meteorologists put out these severe thunderstorm warnings, you want to get to the bottom floor of your home, even if it's not a tornado, because look at this. If this family would have been on that second floor, this could have been deadly. This is about a 100-foot tree that fell from the neighbor's yard onto this two-story home here in Cobb County. This was that storm that Chris and them warned on around 5:30. It swept through Cobb County. This is the kind of damage we are seeing throughout the area. We do know trees came down on a couple of cars, and again, trees just down in different sections of the county. But this, the most significant structure damage we saw here in Cobb County this evening. The good news is this family's okay. They're not staying here, obviously, and it's going to take quite some time to get this home repaired. The entire side of this home damaged. I talked to a crew that was out here. They said it's going to cost about $5,000 to get this tree up. But again, that money a little bit better than what could have happened here if those people would have been on that second floor. But again, just another warning why it is always important to take those severe thunderstorm warnings seriously and get to the bottom floor of your home.
Absolutely. Good advice there, Cody. Thank you. And you know, that line of storms cut right through North Georgia late this afternoon. This is from one of our storm trackers as well. This is Julie showing us this large tree uprooted in Calhoun, and the damage from the storm system stretched all the way into Floyd County. Here's 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates with that part of the story from our Thunder Truck.
That's right, the storms quickly moved through Rome, but not without leaving behind a path of destruction.
All of a sudden it gets real dark and it starts raining and we start scrambling.
Cole Temples was among those in the parking lot of the Advent Health Hospital when the storms came rolling through.
It was loud and quick. Immediately it was calm and then just boom, like it hit you, and we were scrambling because one of the nurses got stuck in the door over there. So we were trying to get her out and get inside because it was fast. Like I'd never seen nothing like it.
A tree fell on Temple's car, and the wind also blew out a window of the hospital.
Of course, it's surprising when a window blows out, but again, we have safety protocols in place, and everybody just followed those protocols and kept patients safe, and that's the most important thing.
But the hospital wasn't the only area impacted by the storm. I went rolling through Rome in the 11 Alive Thunder Truck, surveying more damage. We found a tree blocking the road of John Davenport Drive, and crews working quickly to clear it. On Short Avenue, a tree fell on a home and took out the power line, leaving dozens without power. The strong winds also took out multiple streetlights. Some were even being powered by generators as Georgia Power worked to restore service to the area. In total, Floyd County emergency officials say they had more than 25 different incidents of damage caused by the storm.
And take a look at this. Our camera out at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport looked to be bouncing around rather violently earlier this evening. Just before 5 this evening, all the planes were grounded there due, of course, to the weather. But once the storms passed through, Flights were back up in the skies a little more than 90 minutes later. And now that the storms have quieted down, cooler air is on the way, moving in our direction. Our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, joining us now. Chris, what do folks need to know now that we've got that behind us?
Well, we still have a little bit of a breeze out there, but it's a northwest wind that's bringing us some of that cooler air, not as windy as it was earlier. Even outside of the line of storms that moved through, we had some really strong winds ahead of this line and behind the line, and of course along with those storms too. Peak wind gust in Atlanta today, 49 miles an hour. We have a lot of that wind damage around. All of this rain has pushed well down to the south and east of us right now. This is how it looked passing through the Atlanta area. It moved through right inside the perimeter. This was right around 5 o'clock this afternoon and then pushing away from us, now clearing out. Now those storms are really falling apart as they continue down to the south and east, but this is what is left behind. Every one of these symbols here indicates where we have reports of some wind damage, whether it's trees down, power lines down, or limbs down in some spots, so a widespread coverage of that damage. The National Weather Service is going to assess tomorrow. They're getting a lot of these storm reports in. They'll assess any concentrated areas that they may need to go survey. They'll come out with that schedule a little bit later to determine if any of this damage was actually caused by tornadoes. We'll talk about the cooler air moving in for the weekend in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, we'll see you then. And now that things have calmed down, we are seeing the calm, if you will, after the storm. This image is from our storm tracker, Robert, showing the golden sunset across downtown Atlanta. A beautiful image there. Our storm tracker, Roz, capturing a nice partial rainbow tonight. This photo coming in from Alpharetta. And this was certainly a day that you wanted to make sure that you had that 11 Alive News app ready to go. So if you don't have it, all you have to do is scan that QR code right there on your screen. It'll take you to the App Store so you can download it for free. And then once you've downloaded it, don't forget to turn on the weather alert so you can get specific information for your neighborhood.
We have some breaking news right now. Just a few hours ago, Georgia head football coach Kirby Smart making his first public comments on the Bulldogs' turbulent and tragic offseason. 11 Alive's Reggie Chapman joins us in the studio with the coach's response. Reggie.
Yeah, it's been a difficult offseason for the Georgia football program. The head coach Kirby Smart off the field since celebrating back-to-back national championships in Athens on January 14th in Sanford Stadium. This team all over the headlines as multiple players were arrested for speeding. Former quarterback Stetson Bennett was also arrested for public intoxication. And of course, the fatal car crash took the lives of both offensive lineman Devin Willock and staffer Chandler LaCroix. In an exclusive interview with ESPN, Coach Smart was asked a variety of questions, including if his program has a culture problem.
Absolutely not. And I would say we're far from it. Do we have perfect young men and women and players? Not necessarily, but I promise you this, that's the intent for us to grow these guys and get them better and feel really good about the culture within our program.
Kirby Smart also mentioned in the interview the steps they took over the summer to inform their players about the dangers of street racing. I have more from Kirby Smart coming up a little bit later in sports.
All right, Reggie, we'll see you then. Just hours ago, we learned that Miles Bryant, a now former Doraville police officer, is facing charges in another criminal case. 11 Alive obtained a warrant from a case in 2019. It alleges that Bryant entered a home unannounced in Snellville by climbing through a bedroom window. The warrant says Bryant then walked around the home before climbing back out that same window. He's now charged with first-degree felony burglary in the case. Now, Bryant is already charged in the death of 16-year-old Susana Morales. Family members reported her missing last July, and her body was found February 6th near the Gwinnett-Barrow County line. Right now, we are getting our first look at the suspect in a homicide last weekend. Atlanta police sent out this image tonight saying that this is the person who they believe is behind what they call a targeted attack from Sunday along Deering Road. As you can see, it's a pretty clear image of the suspect there. The shooting happened at the Atlantic Loring Heights apartment complex. And when police arrived, they found the victim, 35-year-old Tasham Singh, with several gunshot wounds. He died at Grady Hospital. If you know anything about this suspect or any information that can help in this case, you're asked to please contact police. Atlanta police say they are ready for a planned week of action that's expected to begin tomorrow against a planned public safety training site in DeKalb County. We're told activists from across the country are planning to come to Metro Atlanta to protest. The complex has been the epicenter of several clashes since it was approved by the city council in 2021. The Atlanta Police Department says it's prepared for anything this weekend. A statement to 11 Alive says in part, we stand ready to respond to demonstrations to ensure the safety of those in our communities and those exercising their First Amendment right or to address illegal activity.
Still ahead tonight, one Metro Atlanta veteran is on a 8,500-mile trek that's been 50 years in the making. It's a story you'll only see on 11 Alive.
Abuse and neglect going unpunished. 11 Alive has uncovered many animal abuse cases where no one is brought to justice. The fight to hold suspects accountable just ahead.